speaking of those Springboks, the Rugby World Cup campaign there is at least hit a slight glitch as they lost to the world #1 team, that is Ireland. South Africans' kicking problems continuing at Stade de France as they suffered that 13-8 defeat to the Pool B leaders and the best team, arguably by rankings, in the world. Both sides scored a try each, but it was Andy Farrell's side that were more consistent with their kicking. For more on this, we're joined by former Springbok Bok Breyton Paulse. A very good morning to you, Breyton. Thank you so much for your time. Let's just start on that conversation about the kicking issues that we have in the Springbok camp, something that the captain, Siya Kolisi, has defended Mani Libbok about as well, something that I think Brent Russell yesterday, as I had a conversation with him, was saying that we shouldn't be focusing so much on the kicking problems because everybody in that team should be able to kick. So if the fly half is having a bit of an issue with the kicking, the scrum half, you know, the left wing, the fullback, they all should be able to step in and do that particular job. But it is something that we cannot be struggling with, I think, if I may be fair to say, given that we are now going into the do-or-die stages of the World Cup. What's your thoughts on the kicking problems?
Yeah, good morning, Morena, and good morning to your viewers. Certainly, I mean, obviously, you know, we got found out with the kicks and some important kicks that it wasn't going over was certainly the difference between winning and losing. And we saw how important it is, and especially when the margins are so small, when the game is so brutal and opportunities only comes once or twice, you need to, unfortunately, you know, sort of get those kicks. It'll be unfair to really blame Mani Libbok alone for this. He knows, you know, he's not kicking with confidence at the moment, but it's not only his problem. If you focus on Ireland and the way they've approached this game, they were absolutely sensational. They certainly were the better team, especially in the last 20 minutes where they really, you know, sort of beat us at the breakdowns. And that for me was actually the massive turning point where they had to withstand a lot of pressure. You know, that first 20 minutes when the Boks were all over them, the Boks were stealing their lineouts. I think they lost about 6 lineouts. And with any other team in the world, the Boks would have, you know, sort of capitalized on those opportunities. But with Ireland, is such a well-coached team by Coach Andy Farrell. They certainly had a plan. They stick to their plan. They weathered the storm. And not even the 7-1 split or the guys from the bench could make a difference when they came on. So for me, the breakdown was actually, you know, a much more sort of weapon for the Irish in the last sort of 20 minutes where we couldn't defend with our, you know, sort of bomb squad. We couldn't defend the breakdowns properly. So, yes, I'm sure Mani, you know, he will be a bit disappointed. And it shows you in a knockout game, when the margins are small, you need to get over those kicks. But, you know, it wasn't the only problem. For me, it was certainly the breakdowns that Ireland sort of, you know, sort of managed to work their way where I think it was a difference in winning and losing.
I will get to the breakdowns just now, and I don't want to sound like I'm harping on this issue of the kicking, but it is definitely something that when you're in a World Cup final, Breyton, you need to get that at least 100% right, because that is exactly how we got to win the World Cup 4 years ago. Handré Pollard's boot was phenomenal. You know, we managed to win the World Cup largely because of what he did. Yes, the Cheslin Colby try, you know, the Magazole Mapimpi try, but the boot is exactly what got us over the line. One of my colleagues, Herbert, is concerned about the placing of the ball on the tee by Mani. He says his kicking is incredible, right? It's not the kicking that's the problem, it's the placing of the ball. Is that something that maybe you would have noticed as well?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Marina, I'm not a kicking coach, a specialist, but I can tell you this, that obviously it's not an issue that Mani had for the last sort of month, if you like. You know, unfortunately, it's been coming on for the last sort of year. Obviously with the Stormers as well, you know, where, you know, Mani missed a couple of very important kicks. And, you know, for me to say what he must do, obviously will be unfair because I'm not a kicking coach. I don't know what to do, you know, with his technique and stuff. So you're going to have to speak to, obviously, a kicking coach specialist, you know, like of Flokkie Sillier or Morne Steyn to really, you know, tell us, you know, what Mani is maybe doing wrong, because clearly what he's doing at the moment is not working. So, you know, he needs to fix it. I mean, besides the kicking, you know, at the moment, Mani is doing everything else so good. I mean, since he's taken over the number 10 reigns, we've scored more tries, we are more attacking, and that's why the likes of Damien Willems, Curtly Arons, Jason Colby's are also, you know, are getting into the spaces, and we shouldn't forget that. But like you said, coming back to his kicking technique, that could maybe be the issue. And I'm sure that, you know, they are addressing the Boks management all the time, because it's not working for him at the moment. Some days he will have a good day, some days he will have an off day, and unfortunately at this level you can't have that. So for me, it's about having that honest conversation. Let's say the Springbok management with a really good professional kicking coach, if you like. I know Flokkie Leer, for instance, very well. He's obviously with the France team, and you can see that their kicking success to post is really, really sort of high 70s, low 80s, and that's what you want at this level. And who knows, maybe I should give Flokkie a call and ask him maybe to analyze Mani, and who knows, we maybe just one or two tweaks and it could work. Obviously, Mani have a coach, the Stormers, Gareth Wright. I'm sure that he's communicating with as well during this World Cup. But clearly going forward, and it's very important, Mani he needs to put over those important kicks, if we obviously want to win this World Cup. So going forward, it will be very interesting to see what the Bok management will do. How do they approach, especially going to the quarterfinal. Obviously, there's lots of talk that Handré Pollard will play against Tonga the coming weekend, and rightly so, because Handré is in the mix at the moment. But Morena, here's another tweet, again, not having a specialist hooker going into the quarterfinals as well. Obviously, Deon Fourie did well when he come on, but just let's hold thumbs that no injuries will certainly come to the fore going forward, because clearly, we saw how important specialist positions are, the likes of hookers, the likes of having proper nines in your team. So it's all to play for still. All is not done and lost, and we shouldn't lose confidence in the Boks now. I mean, we had plenty of opportunities. There were plenty of opportunities in the first half. We didn't convert it, and guess what? Ireland stayed calm. They're one of the best teams to attack with ball in hand, and they certainly, got over the line this time. So well done to them.
Look, definitely not a time and a reason to be panicking, to be worrying. We didn't lose to a Tonga, with all due respect to them. We lost to the #1 ranked team in the world. We lost to a team that beat New Zealand in their own backyard. We lost to a team that won a Grand Slam. So South Africans shouldn't be worried. And it was also by small margins, just a matter of us not having, our game 100% right on the day. On any other day, we could have beaten anybody else. But time is over. I should actually be saying goodbye to you, but I want to ask you very, very quickly, Breyton, does this look like a Springbok team that can defend its world title?
Certainly, Morena, certainly. I mean, in all the puddles, we look really strong. We are brutal. The intensity of the Springboks are really, really good for me. And again, like we said, we put over those kicks, 11 points, we lost out there. If we put over those kicks, it could have been a different game, But for me, again, credit to Ireland. They came in with a plan. They stuck to their plan. Guys like Bundy, Aki, Johnny Sexton were absolutely outstanding. And what Ireland did well is that their front eight could front up to us. And I think that's a difference with other teams. The front eight couldn't stand up to us. We are brutal. We are physical. We suffocate people. And Ireland, kudos to them. And, it's not over yet. And let's get behind the Boks.
Let's see what we can do against Tonga, and let's see what we can do in the knockout stages of this World Cup. Breyton, it's always a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you so much for making time for us. That is former Springbok Bok Breyton Paulse just talking to us about what we saw against Ireland last night. It is not all doom and gloom. We are still going to be taking on Tonga. We are still going into the knockout stages. We are still very much on course to defending our title. Will we do it? We can only but wait and see.